Alright, today we're having a look at Summer Food by Alyssa Nora. Alright, so here we are in Summer Food by Alyssa Nora. We had a nice little elevator effect as the watermelon tray that came down. I want to say fell down, but it didn't fall down. That was pretty neat, it was pretty cool. And I'm just, my brain is, I'm hoping my brain is functional for this video, because it's been a long day already. Alyssa had actually got in touch with me on YouTube and asked me to take a look at this, and I am more than happy to do it. I had a couple episodes that didn't work out the way that I wanted, so a bit of extra space to play with. And so we're here. And I'm wondering, summer food, did we do a thing that wasn't done? Hold on a second here, hold on. I guess? Like, do we slide down this then? Yes, there we go. It was a little bit confusing, but that's okay, it's okay. I am wondering, like, what are the summer foods? Because to me, summer food is, zaru soba? Oh, okay. Alright, that's a neat effect, but it certainly was an effect I was expecting to happen. Should have perhaps been waiting more or paying more attention, but that is pretty cool. Oh, fancy you. Okay. Alright, we're digging it. Yeah, basically sushi and zaru soba are my summer foods, and I don't think that they're going to show up in this level. Are you danger? Might be danger. Wait, what? Okay. I hit X. I did the X hitting. I don't know if I needed to. Invisible walls. Alright. Always lovely. Not exactly always lovely, but we are willing to accept these invisible walls for what they are. We can open our hearts to the invisible walls. Oh, it's a pufferfish. Hello, pufferfish. Perhaps the pufferfish was sitting in the tube that would give us the water. It's a pipe. It's called a pipe. Yeah, so basically I've been awake since 2 o'clock in the morning. So, oh, nice spade effect there. It's a bit of an interesting depth of field. Appreciate that. Cool beans. Alright, I'm enjoying what we've got so far. There's been a few things that I'm not super thrilled with, but overall and all in all, it does seem pretty good. And for the most part, it's got a decent enough pace on it. I don't feel like we're moving too slowly. Oh, okay. Don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but I certainly wasn't. There's a layer issue there. But I don't know if it's the levels layer issue or my brain's layer issue. I think I just assumed that that was going to be down already. Cool. And, wow, actually the pace is fairly good, because I didn't notice at all that we're at 10 seconds and perfect timing. So we're going to talk about this back at the hub, and we'll see you there. See yas. And we're back. And Summer Food by Alyssa Nora. And I think it's a relatively solid yellow square level. It's not groundbreaking, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it does what it does, I think, in the most part, in a fun way, and a relatively quick way. It is, in fact, around about 3 minutes, not too much more than that, so it's going to slot into playlists relatively easily. Interestingly enough, despite the fact that it's called Summer Food, I didn't really notice a lot of food going on in the level. Of course, I mean, there's some decorative elements. There's like a popsicle, and we see at the beginning the fruit and the watermelon there. But it's not like a level 8, everything is made out of food level. And for some people that may be a positive, because I know some folks don't necessarily like the more food-themed levels. But I think this one works. The environment has got a nice mix of materials. I always like these kind of cardboard decorations. We see the trees there, for example. And there are some bits of incidental movement throughout the level, which is another thing that I do really appreciate. Kind of unusual dealing with that visual side, though. I did find that the level is just a little bit over bright, and at times it made some of the colors feel a little bit washed out. It's, on one hand, kind of fitting because summer and you get the image of the really super bright sun and all of that, but it does, I think, take away a little bit from the visual appeal of the level. As far as the gameplay here, Alyssa Nora makes pretty decent use of the floaty fluid. Floaty fluid is not always one of my favorite gameplay mechanics, but there doesn't seem to be any real issues with how it's utilized in this level. It serves its purpose getting you from point A to point B, but it never really causes anything to screw up or break or fail, as I've seen in other floaty fluid levels in the past. There are a couple of instances of invisible walls. Those are Personally, not something again that I particularly like, but there's not a lot of them, and it doesn't really ruin anything I felt. A little bit of interesting character in the level. I really appreciated that blowfish. I thought it was really cute, and I thought it was interesting the way that they implemented that in the level. Wall jump sections as well, I thought were fairly well done. A little bit tricky, but probably nothing that's going to end up killing a player. I did notice some issues dealing with kind of layer changes and things that were moving in and out of layers. Sometimes I found myself, as you saw in the video, getting thrown unexpectedly out of layer. I should have landed in this one point and I didn't land there for some reason. Nothing too serious. I did like, from a visual standpoint, I did like the kind of obstacles that were interacting with the layers. We saw that one in the video where it's kind of like a cowbell, and the cowbell is twisting down around this rope, and you've got to use that as a bridge to get over, and then on the top it's going to twist back around up to the top, and you'll use that as a bridge to get over again. I did find that to be a pretty cool effect once I knew that it was coming, but the first time that we saw it in the video I was not really prepared for that. Ended up getting myself killed because I wasn't sure I was supposed to interact with that obstacle. But it was a neat effect and I did appreciate it. Later on the level we see kind of a mechanical arm come down, and it's got a bit of spongy material. You jump on top of the spongy material, and that'll, when it goes up to the top section, and it'll have a bounce pad that'll throw you where you need to go. And I thought as well that was pretty much well handled. I do like these kind of movement between layers, animated movement between layers. We don't really see it come up a lot, and I appreciate it when it does because it's always interesting to me. Now, I did take a look at the level this time around because Alyssa Nora had gotten in touch with me, as mentioned in the video, on YouTube, asked me to take a look at this, and I am always willing to take a look at levels, and I do appreciate when people send levels my way because, you know, there's sometimes things that you would not find otherwise and would not notice. I would ask that if you do ask me to take a look at a level, depending on how my backlog is, I may not be able to get to it right away. I will definitely try to get to it, but you don't need to ask 3 or 4 times in order to get me moving on it. It'll get there when it gets there, basically. But yeah, I mean, I think that does it for us this go about. Summer Food is it's a relatively short, relatively simple, and yet still fun and in some places interesting looking level that I think could probably slot in fairly easily into a cooldown playlist to put in between more frustrating or longer, beefier levels. So that's just about it for us here. So from me, Risco, in Osaka, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, arigasamurota, sayonara, see you, and ciao.